Good afternoon and welcome to the Bryan Board of Public Affairs meeting for October 19th, 2021. Would you please stand and join me in the pledge to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on our agenda is to approve the minutes of the October 5th, 2021 regular meeting. You've all had the minutes to review. Any changes or additions or corrections, please let us know. If not, I'll accept the motion to approve.
I'll make a motion we approve the October 5th minutes as read.
Second.
Dick?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Next item is hearing of public concerns. Seeing none, we will move to the next item, Clerk Treasurer's Report.
The board has been presented with the Clerk Treasurer's Report for the month ending September 30th, 2021.
Mr. Chair, seeing the City Council approved, I make a motion we approve also. I second it.
Karen?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Jim? Dick?
Yes.
Next item, we have a guest this evening from the Ohio EPA. We will be talking about the source water assessment and protection approval.
Thank you for having me this afternoon. My name is Richard Kroeger. I'm with the Source Water Protection Program in Northwest District. The reason for why I'm here is the Source Water Assessment Program is what it basically does is it helps protect your water wells, where your water comes from. So that the villages or the city's Source Water Protection Program first was endorsed way back, I think it was 2004. Sorry, it was a long time ago. So the reason why we took a look at it again now is that Derek did some upgrades to the well, one of the wells, and which then required by rule 459110 rule that required them any kind of upgrade to a well. They are required then to update their source water protection program. So what the source water protection program does is surrounding your wells with a 1 year and a 5 year time of travel. It takes a look at where that's at. That originally was done by Peerless. So it was done by Peerless way back 2004 or 2003, area before, and then what they done was that they identified sources within that area that could possibly contaminate those wells. So that's what it was. It's called a pollution source inventory, and that was done originally back in 2004 as well, or 3. And then along with that, this last part of this whole process is called the protection plan. Now that you know where your water comes from, what sources are in that area that potentially could harm those wells, and then how you're going to protect it. So that's what back in 2003 and 4, which was endorsed in 2004, you identified how are you going to protect it. You guys, well, not you guys, I guess maybe the board at that time then passed an ordinance with the village or with the city and said, hey, this is our area, we're going to try to protect it. So, and then they formed a team. That team then got together. The reason for today is when I come out here today is just to help you understand that process and what we went through. So what we did, and Derek did probably 6-8 months ago, we started this process and to get it up to date to all the new rules. So we got it all together, updated with all the newer language in there for the source water assessment protection plan. Instead of the way back when it used to be called the Wellhead Protection Program, so we updated all the language. We updated and identified any new sources that were in the area, so now it's Derek. I worked with Derek and we got it all together and we resubmitted the plan, and so we have a new endorsement and the letter here. So Nathan, congratulations on behalf of the Ohio EPA. I want to thank you for your cooperation and get you the letter there. But on behalf, it's just a good process, and it's good. Thanks for trying to protect your water and keep that good update. So if you have any questions about what that process was, you're more than welcome to ask. So anything for me? I think so. It was pretty. There was a lengthy, lots of emails back and forth since with this whole COVID thing, we couldn't come out and meet. But hopefully, we're getting through this process or through this era, and we can get back to normal. So, so congratulations. Keep up the good work and providing good, clean water. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Next item on the agenda, Nate, do you want to introduce the representative?
Yeah, this is, I think, Court Gosha from Parks and Rec, his department is in attendance tonight to request the annual tree donation that B&U has donated in the past. So we just asked him to come in and just speak a little bit about it.
Well, we certainly appreciate your support over the years. This program's been going on for a long time. I don't think anybody remembers how far back it goes, but it really helps us in our pursuit of improving the tree canopy in Bryan area. And hopefully we help you guys out by removing trees that are problems for the utility. We've been taking a little more aggressive approach the last 3 or 4 years. Worked a lot with Al and Adam and the Asplund crew, and we've identified a lot of problem trees that we have to go back and trim every 2 or 3 years. Real fast growing. They're not desirable trees for us in our urban forest anyway. Mostly silver maples, Siberian elm, junkie trees, and so we've taken to removing those trees instead of just going back and continually trimming. So the money that you give us helps us to replant the appropriate tree in the right place. So we're planting only small growing trees close to your lines and the bigger trees away. So that should save you money down the road. So that's kind of my spiel. Any questions?
Benji, do you remember the number last year?
How many trees?
No.
The number of trees?
No, the money.
The money was 4,000.
It was for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last couple of years.
It's been, I think that's been, the past 2 years, it's been 4,000.
Okay.
Is this a matching donation from city council? I assume that they...
Typically, yeah. So,
I match it out of my budget.
yeah.
Okay.
So, obviously our goal is to plant as many trees or more than what we remove. And we've been able to keep that one-on-one balance for the past 2 years. So, obviously, when you lose a large tree, it takes a long time for a small tree to provide the benefits that that large tree once had. But it's a race to kind of keep the little ones growing and coming on. So
And they
we have to
probably
do it
haven't
every
gotten
year.
any cheaper over the years, have they?
Pardon me?
I say they probably haven't gotten any cheaper over the years.
No, when I first started, we were just coming out of the Great Recession, and there was trees all over the place, because nurseries, of course, are on a very long production cycle, as opposed to regular agriculture with a one crop per year season. It takes 3, 4, 5, 6 years to grow their crops. So when things shut down, there was an overabundance of trees, and so for the first 3 or 4 years that I was doing this job, I was able to find some real deals out there, because they were trying to survive, basically, and to clear their fields. But now things have kind of gone the other way, and the demand is high. A lot of them have gone out of business, and so now when supply is tight, prices go up. So they've gone up pretty considerably over the last 3 to 5 years.
And about how many trees can you buy with the money?
With that money, it costs about $145 to $165 per tree for the size trees that we're doing, depending on the species. So,
Okay.
looking at
appreciate you taking care of the replacement and the grooming to keep the lines
Well-
from damage.
That's part of the whole thing is to not just plant the trees, but to have a maintenance program that keeps them watered and trimmed and mulched and so that they survive. So we try to do that too.
Parks does a very good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, this might be your last time to stand up here, so I want to congratulate you and thanks for everything you've done for our community.
Why, thanks, Nathan. It's been a pleasure and an honor. And I guess I can introduce my replacement who's been hired right back here,
Oh,
April
yeah.
Smith.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pass my knowledge on to her.
All right.
And I'm sure she's gonna do a fine job.
Any other questions, of court? Do we have a motion to approve the request?
So, second.
Dick,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Annette,
Yes.
Karen.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
For
Court.
good use.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
How much longer are you gonna be with us, Court?
Till the end of November,
End of November.
27 days, not that I'm counting.
Next item on the agenda is discussion and possible resolution modifying our electric rate schedule. Nate's going to lead that discussion.
Yeah, I wanted to just follow up with the board from our last meeting that we had on October 5th, basically concerning the electrical costs of service study that was presented by Trey Shepard of Salvo Associates. I'll just give a brief, I mean, it was a long discussion, so I think, everybody had their opportunity to ask all their questions and get the answers, so I'm just going to give a brief review of what Trey's presentation was. We began this process back in 2018 and 2019, so we've been working on this for a little while. We've had changes in leadership and COVID. We've revised our capital and our revenue expenses expectations all the way up to 2021. We kept working on those, trying to get them down to where they were feasible. We want to develop rates that are fair and equitable across our rate classes. We want to modify rates to reflect changing energy sales. Our power supply costs are moving constantly. Our capital improvement needs, so that's what we were focused on, is those things. We want to include the power supply and local costs in the base rate. So the rate plan goal was to meet the minimum, of course, meet our minimum reserve policy. We wanted to keep that where we needed to be. Ability to fund forecasted capital projects, power supply, and local expenses. We want to implement small changes, to large changes as far as percentage-wise of the rates. I don't think people mind small rates is if you're taking care of it, and if we look at our outages, how short they are compared to being, hours and days. We're reinvesting what we do back into this community, and I can honestly say that I think our crews and stuff do a great job of keeping the power on. So we want to keep in consideration the cost of service with customer bills and impacts for rate competitiveness of nearby communities. That's important to us also. All this stuff was taken into consideration to be competitive. Sometimes you don't want to compare yourself exactly to a community that's failing or it has high rates, so you want to be careful about that comparison, but it's important to be competitive among other communities, and we are even after we implement this. We're still in a position that we're competitive with the communities around us. So what we're offering here is a multiple year rate, average of over 3 years is what we would like to do. Basically on an average, let's just say for residential, I think it is based on 750 kilowatt hours. We're averaging over the 3 years 2.8%. Even with those percentages, we're still lower in residential than even the surrounding areas. General service with non-demand over the 3-year period is about 2.1%. General service demand is approximately 1.1%. Large power is about 2%. So we try to keep them low and equitable and spread them out, not just focusing on one. So that was it. So there's going to be a slight increase in the base rate over the 3-year span in all classes. Basically, the base customer charge is going to go up incrementally over the next 3 years. For example, customer service charge for residential would be like, right now, I think it's $10.25. So the first year it would go up to like $12. So, I mean, we have all that information here for you. We get into each class, but I just wanted to touch base on some of those. So we're also, during this process, we want to address our Psca, which is our power supply cost adjustment. The base power cost adjustment is basically dollars per kilowatt hour sold. It's set when your rates are implemented or your rates are changed. So Trey has calculated this to be 0.7160 cents per kilowatt hour. That helps recover our costs. So it didn't go up a whole lot, but that should be stable. We shouldn't have to play with that over the next 3 years. It's basically calculated by subtracting the base power cost from the projected power supply costs. And so that's going to be part of this rate plan. It's proposed to be implemented in multiple year revenue adjustments. We will continue to monitor our sales and our volumes and our power supply costs. You know, some of the things are changing. Our fund balance and our fund balance and guidelines will all be monitoring during this period. I guess what we're looking for tonight is we have a couple options. I mean, we could basically go back if this wasn't acceptable to the board, and we can try to do something different. I mean, we could table this plan, or we have prepared a resolution kind of following what we spoke of verbatim when Trey was here and presented his presentation. So with that, if proposed, the resolution passed, it would be basically be effective on bills rendered on or after November 20th, 21, and then they would see another increase November 20th, 22, and then the third year would be November 20th, 2023, respectively. So with that, I am open to conversation and your thoughts.
Nate, this is a 3-year plan, correct?
Correct.
But we will go back and each year and take a look at it
Yeah.
in case we need to modify, change, or as markets change.
Yeah. Currently, the way it's set up is, yes, we are going to monitor that constantly. I don't foresee us with this small of going too large here. This was just a short chip at it as far as I'm concerned to take. You've seen this graph over and over where we have continually went down. This, if we would have implemented this back in 2019, we wouldn't be in the position we are. We need to at least get that graph going up and stabilizing. So I don't think we're doing too much, but for sure that is exactly right. We're going to watch it year by year of all those things that I discussed as far as, our monitoring our sales volume, our power supply costs, because all those things change over time. Right. We would get a 50 megawatt load in here, that changes everything, right? We wouldn't even need a rate increase. So anything could happen. I don't foresee something like that happening, but I mean, this is what I think is needed right now to get the electric department back where they need to be. When sales are down, this is what I think we should have done a few years ago. But I think we've made good changes as far as capital projects and rearranging them. I mean, Jim's here, he can tell you how hard we worked on our 5-year capital plan to stabilize our capital projects that was affordable. Just like it was coming out of our bank account, here's how much we have to spend each year that's set up by our rates, and we try to stay within that. And by spreading our projects over time, and overlapping them year to year, we were able to do that. And I'm pretty excited of all the hard work that all of the guys put into this, along with Salvo and Associates. So I'm happy with the results as far as that goes. We're not borrowing a bunch of money. We're cash funding a lot of the things, but we spread it out over time where we're living within our means.
So choosing to do the 3-year plan as opposed to just one large sum all at once is better for everyone all the way around.
Yeah, we can monitor it over the 3 years, and we can make changes, we can stop.
Right.
But I think that we should just continue on the 3 years. I don't think it's overly done, but we will definitely watch it through those, that period of time.
Do you happen to recall when the last increase was?
It might have been back right prior to this, but I don't think it was fully enacted, like the last step of it, I don't think. So that's my understanding, that it was anticipated to, do something the last, I don't know if it was 2018 or 17, was probably the last change that they made. And I don't know if it was just a more rate neutral plan that they did that wasn't really too much of an increase at that time, I don't think.
It's always worked well for us, adjusting yearly. From what I've read here and from what I got from Trey's presentation, I think it's a realistic adjustment.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, I mean, I don't 1% rate increases. I know the board doesn't, and I know our community doesn't, but I know that if we don't, and we're not able to take care of it, and then we have to come back to the community and our ratepayers and raise the rates 10%. You know, if you do these small incremental changes, is better to be able to take care of your system. And by the end of this 3 years, we're still at zero. You know, we're not for profit. We've paid our expenses and we are pretty much at zero. It's not like we're out to make money. We're out to cover our cost of maintaining our system.
Where we want to be.
Right.
Well, and we know this is a tried and true plan because we do it for the water.
Yep.
And we need to maintain our fund balance.
Correct. Yep, that's the other thing we're watching very closely, is not to spend our fund balance too far down. We just had bigger projects that came up that, you know, there's lots of things, you know, when you're talking of an aging system and you put things off, it costs more, right? I mean, so, you know, things get pushed down the road and, you know, it has to be fixed sometimes. So you don't want to neglect your system because it costs you more. You need to take care of your system like we're doing. And I think we have a very good system. I mean, you look at our distribution transmission system, you know, we're keeping up with our substations, we're doing the right things. That's why we're so reliable. Our tree trimming services that we do, you know, all those things pay off. And by doing these incremental and taking care of our stuff, that's why we're able to have the service that we're able to give.
So what's the consensus?
I'd like to see us go ahead with that plan. I really
Should
would.
we read the resolution?
It makes sense.
Have the resolution read?
If you want, Lori, I think has the resolution sheet.
You agree?
Yes. Would you please number and read?
Of course. Resolution number 32, 2021, modifying the electric rate schedules and Rider A power supply cost adjustment of the City of Bryan, Ohio.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 32. Yes.
Second.
Jim?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Karen?
Next item on the agenda is a project update for 34-569 AV upgrades. Jim's going to speak to that.
That looks familiar.
Well, I can't see where to, oh, here it is.
Go to start slideshow. There you go.
Just real quick, the 34.5 upgrade project. Out of all Bryan, we only had one external substation that was outside of the utility yet that was on 34.5. So we were beginning to upgrade that so we could get it onto the 69. This is the first picture of it. This is the east transformer after it was installed, along with the structures and all that stuff. It is actually on in this picture. So, and then just this Wednesday, or last Wednesday, just last week, we changed out the second transformer. So some of the structure that you see there is no longer there now. But everything is going pretty well to plan. We haven't ran into really any issues that are outside of what we expected, except for what we had in the ground. And that's why I brought these pictures along. We received 3 change orders. One of the change orders was that Titan wanted more lighting at the substation. So they wanted 3 additional lights. Well, that change order would have been $1,511. But since they wanted it, they're working on a PO to pay Kent Power that change order. So that was out of us. Also, when we turned the power from 34.5 to the 69, we had a 10-hour day that Saturday because we were helping getting the structure taken down while the 69 was off. And it became very critical because some of that structure was 40 foot in the air with only 2 bolts. So as soon as we cut the supports loose, they started tipping right towards the house. So we were able to secure it with a digger derrick and hold it in place. But then we had to be very delicate so we didn't get no one hurt getting all that structure down. So it was kind of a long day. And they came back with a change order for $32.56 for that overtime on the Saturday. We were able to negotiate with them that, look, we helped take the structure down, we helped set some of the poles, so it's just kind of a mutual exchange of cost, you know. And they agreed, so they got rid of that one. The one that is really hurt, really we didn't expect and we didn't find out until they started digging down, is you can see where a lot of these, and I'm just going to walk over this way so I can point at it a little better. You can see where some of it, they poured it right here and right here, but then at the bottom it just kind of blew out into the dirt and stuff. So what they have proposed is where this ragged edge is to build the stone up to it so that when they put the liner down, it won't rip. Because the liner goes down for the containment, the oil containment, and then they put stone over the top of that. Well, usually that's a perfectly smooth edge, and they would just secure the liner right to the edge of it, and then it would fall straight down into the clay, and then you just fill it in. Well, with those ragged edges, you have the possibility of cutting that once you put the stone on it. So they want to put the stone on it, and of course the containment company agreed that that would work. Well, that change order is for $37,152. That's the total for the whole thing. There's a couple areas that are not exposed. If they get over in those areas and it's not needed, well, that all comes down. So this is a worst case scenario. And I'm not asking for a resolution or anything tonight. I'm just telling you that so that if we make sure that we don't run into anything else, so that if we do a change order, we do one time and we're good to go. So I just wanted to bring that up, that's coming up, and we're going to monitor all that. But outside of that, we haven't ran into anything that would prevent us from bringing that online within the next couple of weeks and being done. And then I just got a picture of JJ up there changing the 69 over. Any questions on how we're coming on that substation or anything? Yeah, Karen?
I'm curious about the oil containment. Is, they said that the containment company said the plan was okay. Is that okay with the EPA? Are they going by any guidelines of EPA?
The EPA says you have to do containment.
Mm-hmm.
So the company has a plan or a system that is approved to be used. They just have to find a way that the lining cannot be damaged. As long as the lining is not damaged, it meets all the plan's criteria and specifications. So that's why they want to put that stone down, is to prevent that possibility.
Yeah, it's similar to like a pool liner. You wouldn't want to rupture your pool liner, so it's that. And then they calculate, the capacity of that thing. It has to be a certain capacity to
yeah, it's got to be able to hold both transformer oils.
Yeah, and so it's more like a pool liner would be a good, way to describe it.
That's a good analogy, but there is things on the outside that lets the water out. So.
Just want to make sure it's
Yeah.
a tested
Yes,
method
yes,
in other places.
They use this in a lot of places.
Okay, that's good to
Yeah,
know.
this ain't a fly-by-night company. They
Yeah,
use it.
we've had some in the past,
Sure.
a little bit of a leakage, and don't want to walk into this.
Don't want that.
Great. Glad
I don't
you
like
checked
that.
into
I don't
it.
want to do the report again.
Thank you.
Jim, is that change order for all that stone?
It's for everything. Yep, to do that whole change.
Okay, now,
Do all that.
being that's on their property, is that something that Titan could be responsible for, or are we?
Well, I'm not sure how we could Yeah, we're doing the upgrade.
Okay,
This is part of the upgrade. This is a requirement to change those transformers.
okay,
Once you make a change, you have to bring it up to today's standards.
okay.
That,
So,
How did you okay, I'm not understanding the concrete foundation blowout. Was that new cement that
no,
blew out? That's old cement that was, when it was dug up, it was discovered that it would,
right.
If you look at it, we didn't know because it was covered up, and so until you excavate it, you didn't know. But if you look at that, it looks like they probably used a couple 2x12s
Yeah.
or something, and then underneath of it, they didn't put anything, so that concrete flowed and just kind of flowed out from underneath of it. And,
This is kind of deceiving. That's at least 12 inches down, which is why just, taking a few shovels to see that it is 12 inches thick enough to hold a transformer and things like that so they can make those calculations. You wouldn't necessarily see that until you got down to that second foot.
Probably when that concrete was poured, containment wasn't an issue of it.
No, it wasn't an issue at all. As a matter of fact, right there is a piece of plywood. That was all it was there. It's still there. Yeah, back when they built that substation, containment would not even have been in existence.
so you mentioned they're going to attach that to the foundation or that concrete somehow, the liner?
They will secure the liner to the flush side of this so that if the transformers ever would leak, it would run right in,
Do you know how they're going to attach it?
mechanically.
And right now, we don't know. I mean, they've shown this, that's the maximum amount, that if all sides are exactly like this. It could be less if, I'm assuming they probably formed the same all the way around, but I guess the bad news is there's the possible change order for unforeseen that always happens, that you never know what's gonna happen. The good news is, I think we're about $300,000 under budget.
Well, yeah, that still keeps us under 330,000 under budget,
So that's
so,
good. to know.
That's the good news.
yeah, so,
So you still
that's
have
great news, actually.
wiggle room, so to speak.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
You still have wiggle room.
Oh, yeah. I hope we don't have to wiggle that much.
is what it is.
But it's a big deal for a lot of people. A lot of people wanted that, onto the 69 is just one step closer in our goal. And you can talk about it if you want, but I mean, our last thing to do there, once this, we built our new substation and there's 69, we can get rid of that 34.5 out there, and then now they're off of it. Our next step would be going to the power plant and cleaning up our backyard, right?
Right. And we've got a plan, which with Al and Adam and Tim and myself have worked out, that we've presented to Nate. He talked about how to spread it out and be much more cost effective and smoothen the budget out. We've come up with a way that we can do pretty much, we think we can do 100% of the work ourselves. Except for buying the major equipment, it'll come in, but we've got a way that Adam and Al's come up with a way to get the 34.5 around, bring the 69 in later, and we can keep everything live until the time we really want to switch the GE or the Westinghouse over. We can switch it over, and we won't need really any outside help. We'll use the water guys to dig the foundations for us and pour the concrete ourselves. And now that stretches it out, but it also makes it so that we're not hitting anybody with any big capital. We're bringing it across a nice smooth pattern. And I think it'll be great for the guys because they can look out, every day they drive by, they can look out and say, we did that. And I know how that makes you feel.
Yeah. And that's where our generation will be able to generate onto the
Right.
69. And that's what, our ultimate goal here is to get rid of that old stuff and generate onto the 69. So we're getting there. There's a long, once that domino was knocked over, I see progress, which is a good thing.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. Next item, reclassification of an engineering department employee. Jackie?
Good evening, everyone. Stuart Martin is currently an engineering assistant 2, and we are requesting that he be moved to a probationary engineering assistant 3. He meets all of the abilities of a job classification 3 based off of his performance evaluation, and he is one elective away from completing his associate's degree. The holdup on that is that it is only offered during the day. There's only one instructor out at Northwest State that is offering that right now. And he knows that he needs to be here during the day, especially in the summer and fall months for projects. So we're working with him on that, but he also has started a second associate's degree out at Northwest State while he's waiting to be able to get that class in. So when he is completed, he will not only have his project management course and degree, but he will also have a business administration degree.
Busy guy.
I have a question, and it's nothing against this promotion, putting him up to probation engineering 3, but is there a reason that we want to do this now instead of waiting until he does have his associates finished?
Based off of what we have discovered, it could be 6-8 months for that one class, and he can already complete the duties of the job classification 3. So instead of penalizing the employee for something that he has no control over and he's continuing on with a degree, we felt after some discussion with Nate and everybody, we felt that it was beneficial to not only the utilities, but fair to him to move him up to that 3.
Didn't Stewart kind of get caught up in the issues when COVID hit and we were
Yes.
kind of, didn't exactly know which way things were going there for a little while?
Yes, he was one of the employees that got caught up in the looking when we were looking at the pay things, yes. But there were several employees with that that we hope to take care of.
I think the only thing that's still sticking out in my mind is do we need to add an addendum? Or maybe not, maybe I'm not going to phrase it right, but if it's in our handbook that he needs to have an associate's, do we need to perhaps make, I guess it would be an addendum or something attached to the handbook to allow it? Is there something?
There is nothing in the handbook that has anything to do with moving him. It is part of a job description, and the job description states that they prefer a associate's degree and or equivalent job experience, and in this case he has the equivalent job experience, plus he's continuing on with the degree.
Just want to make sure we're protected, that's all?
Yep.
Okay,
I understand.
thank you.
I'll make a motion we approve.
Second?
Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes,
Dick?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you, Jackie. Next item to affect semi-monthly disbursements.
I'll make a motion, we pay the bills.
I'll second.
Dick?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes,
Jim?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
last item on our agenda is comments from Epa and Staff. Jackie, do you have anything
Yeah, I
else?
do this evening, actually. First of all, I want to congratulate the Water Department for their certificate or award that they received earlier. But I also wanted to make sure, since the mayor's not here to share this, that Lori and her team successfully passed the audit, and this is the 13th for her career while she's been with the city. So congratulations to you and your team. Thanks.
Way to go.
It was a perfect audit, too.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And we received an Auditor State Award last week. So I thought was being handled pretty quietly, but apparently not, so.
Thought you could sneak that through.
I really did.
Congratulations. You
Thanks.
did a fine job.
Thank you.
Read it in the paper today. Jim, anything else?
Yeah, I didn't know she had that award until today either, but she helped me out yesterday getting things moved around, and I appreciate that. And I know what it's like to go through an EPA thing, because I have to do it every once in a while. So congratulations to Derek, and I also wanted to thank the board for helping support that 34.5 upgrade. That is wonderful. I appreciate your help.
Derek? Lori?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay.
I just kind of wanted a public statement, basically, that the police and fire department are out there training and at the Bryan properties. And so if people see them out there, there might be on our properties on East South Street, Emmett Street, and East Butler Street. You know, we probably are going to, I think we have some stuff going up on our social media too, because the police are in there doing some things right now. The fire department may be doing some stuff. So I just want to make people aware that they're out there, and you know, if they see them run around in bulletproof vests and stuff like that, as long as they're not, you know, at your house, you probably have nothing to worry about because they're on our property doing some things. So just kind of wanted to put that out there. Also, I would like to congratulate Stuart, you know, for his promotion. Thank Mr. Kroeger for coming in here also. That was nice for him to stop in here and kind of give that little update. And congratulations, Lori, on yours. That's all.
Do we have an anticipated date when those houses will, when they'll be done and we can have them taken down?
We're going to start here soon. I don't think we're going to get much training in because we just want to get the one on, is it 308 East South Street? That was going to come down first. Second might be the Butler Street project because of the water treatment plant generator. They poured the pad over there the other day. There's something else that we've been wanting to do ever since I've been here is get a backup generator over there. So they have the concrete poured and they're getting set there, and the worst thing we want to do is wait too long when the generator gets there and have all that money and then knock part of the house into our new generator. So that one probably will go second. Then we're going to probably leave them some time to do some more training and spread it out. I hate to just allow them a short period of time. So the other ones won't be so bad. And plus, we have to budget for these things. I mean, we have to budget, you know, we don't really know, but I'm estimating $10,000 to $12,000 just to, I mean, our crews are doing it, but still, I mean, I don't know what dump fees are going to be until we get them going and find out, you know, what the cubic yards of a house is. It's hard to I haven't figured that out yet.
And would that estimate be a total cost or for all four?
No, it's like per house. I think it's going to be at least probably $10,000, and that's what we're probably going to budget for, is around $10,000 to dump fees. So ultimately, it might end up being like $40,000. So we want to make sure we budget for it. You know, we're going to do a couple this year and a couple next year, and kind of spread the budget out a little bit.
I'm going to break up the order and go next.
You gonna hurry down here or what?
No.
Everybody thanks everybody. He doesn't get a chance.
I don't get a chance.
Already go.
Congratulations to Lori and her department for the audit. And we thank Mr. Kroeger for coming in for his presentation, and the Court Gosha for coming and explaining to us the trees and the money that we donate, what it goes for. And to Stuart for his reclassification. So, with that, Jim?
Congratulations, Lori. You're so good at this. They're going to start expecting this of you every year.
I think the auditor's office would have liked to have done all that publicly, so I would rather meet him out in the hallway and accept the certificate.
But you always do a good job.
Thank you.
Derek, congratulations to you. Jim, thank your guys on the upgrade. You know, the crews really came through on that. It's that's what I say. I look at some of the pictures and I remember some of that stuff, and it's all gone now. It's replaced. We've moved on. That's good. That's good. And I want to congratulate Stuart on his reclassification. He deserves it. That's all I have.
I know.
Well, you know, like in Tom's position, everything's pretty well been said. So, Lori, I know what it's like going through an audit, how stressful it can be, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Derek, congratulations to you. Jim, I really enjoyed the presentation, and I liked the way you explained things, so that, I mean, not only is for us to get easy to understand, but also anybody watching the feed. And congratulations also to Stuart, and keep up the good work. And that's all.
Yeah, what you said.
How's it feel?
No, just congratulations, Laura, on the perfect audit. Derek, on the certification from the EPA, congratulations. Jim, thanks for that update. Thanks for your hard work. And that's about all I need, got to say. And Stuart, congratulations, he got bumped up.
Karen?
I'm gonna reiterate everything.
Jim, and for the whole project from start to finish, it's just been fantastic, the way you and the other departments and all the crew have come together to make it go as smoothly as it has. And working with Titan in on that too, and everyone else that it's affected and impact, that's great. Very congratulations at EPA, that's huge. And it's been a while. That was a great presentation we had clear back in '04, was it? I think, and I was kind of hoping we'd see a little more, maybe the map and any changes that might have been, maybe we can get together sometime and see what that looks like today. It's just really good. Stuart, yes, that's a good move on his part, and Laura, congratulations. You know, over the years, just every step's been coming to this point, so.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that. And that's it. Again.
Anything else from anybody? Entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Jim?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Karen? Annette?
Yes.